I'm Dr. Soma Sharma, a chemistry faculty at RPS Narna. Today I'm here to take your few classes for chemistry subject in your 11th class. So before moving for that, let me welcome you all to a new phase of your life, a new class, to a new classroom, to a new class, a new standard, that is in 11th standard. So this is the classroom, or this is the phase of your life where you can decide your career goals in a better way. In fact, not only deciding, it's about working hard to achieve them. And you are at right place, that is at RPS group of institutions, because it itself says that this is the place where dreams come true. So today let's start with the first unit of chemistry. In chemistry, this year you will find overall there would be 14 units. Although as per CBSE some part has already been deleted, but for competition you have to go through all the topics of all 14 units. Okay. So our first unit is some basic concepts of chemistry. So today let's start with some basic concepts of chemistry. In this unit, basically what we are going to talk about is what is chemistry, what are the importance or the uses of chemicals in our life. Then we're going to talk about matter, then the physical properties, etc. And then we'll talk about atomic mass, molecular mass, concentration terms, and balancing of chemical reactions. So first, let's start with the topic chemistry, because this is the time when you are studying chemistry separately for the first time. Before that, you used to have a science book in which chemistry was one of the part of that particular science book. So because you are studying chemistry broadly for the first time in depth, so you need to know what is chemistry as well. So chemistry is basically, it's a branch of science which deals with elements, molecules, not only 118 elements which are present in the periodic table, but a variety and finite possible compounds which can be produced by using those 118 elements. So this is a branch of science which deals with matter, its properties, physical as well chemical, its properties, it's the compounds formed by from different substances. So that is basically chemistry. So how chemistry is useful to us? What are the importance of chemistry? So chemistry is very useful. Importance of chemistry. In fact, if I ask you a question, can you tell me an area, some field where chemistry is not involved? I hope I can bet that you won't be able to tell me a single point, a single place, a single field where chemistry is not at all involved. So chemistry is everywhere, right? We all are consist of chemicals. Everywhere chemicals are there. So if chemicals are there, that means chemistry is there. Okay. So importance of chemistry. In every field you will find that chemistry is equally important, whether it's agriculture, whether it's food industry. So in agriculture, let's start with this. In agriculture, chemistry is used in terms of fertilizers to increase the crop yield, in terms of fertilizers which are used to increase the crop yield. And then in terms of pesticides, in terms of insecticides, right, like DDT used as to kill insects. So DDT is used as insecticide. Urea, calcium phosphate, etc. are used as fertilizers. Okay. Other than agriculture, there are other fields where chemistry is equally important. So if we talk about food industry, in food industry also lot of chemistry is there. Food industry. So whether it's baking powder or a preservative, baking powder is used to cook food fast, okay, or a preservative which helps in storage of food, sodium chloride, sugar sometimes, there are many preservatives, acetic acid, they all act as preservatives. Then antioxidants, BHA, BH3, etc. Antioxidants. Okay. Then flavoring agents. Flavoring agents like vanilla. So basically vanilla, whenever you go for having vanilla ice cream, which compound you are intaking? That is vanillin. So this is vanillin compound. You can easily see that this vanillin compound is so interesting. This is OH here, OCH3 this side, and this one is CHO. So whenever you eat vanilla ice cream, vanilla flavored anything, whether it's custard or ice cream or cake or anything, you can think that you are actually eating this molecule. Okay. Then your coloring agents, there are many food colors, coloring agents. In biryani, people use food colors. While making rice, people use food colors, right? Gola, whenever you have this ice gola, then also you'll be finding this with different colors. So that is again a food color, they are food colors. So all these are chemicals which are involved in food industry. Next one is textile industry. Textile industry. So when you go to market, you ask, suppose you want to buy a bag. So in that case, you will be saying that, please give me a bag whose material is waterproof. So earlier these advancements were not there, but with time there is an advancement even in textile industry. Every time you will find materials are changing with better properties. There are many clothes in the market. So textile industry, so dyeing agents, etc. Next one is polymer industry. Chemistry is there in polymer industry as well. Right? We are surrounded by polymers everywhere, whether it's our bathroom or our kitchen, while doing the interior of the house, everywhere you will find that polymers are there. They are playing a very important role in our life, polymer chemistry. And not but the least one, the pharmaceutical industry. In pharmaceutical industry, playing major role in our lives, because scientists are working in that direction and they are preparing different drugs to treat different disease, to cure different disease. Like earlier when corona phase, that was the toughest phase of our life. When it started, there was no medicine to cure COVID, but later on there are many medicines designed by the scientists, Covaxin, Covishield, etc. Okay. For cancer also, earlier there were no medicines for cancer, but there are many medicines nowadays, like cisplatin is there, Taxol is there, which can easily cure cancer. For HIV also, AZD type medicines are there which can cure HIV. So these are few fields we have talked about where chemistry is directly involved. In rest of the areas also chemistry is equally important. In fact, without chemistry life is not beautiful. So life is beautiful only with chemistry. If chemistry is good, everything is good. Okay. So it's not about that chemistry is useful to us. Yes, that is useful, but still there are many challenges we are facing where scientists can work hard and many people are still working in this direction. So many challenges are there, like in terms of energy. Nowadays we all are having shortage of energy, right? There is shortage of resources. So we all are trying to find different ways, many new ways by which energy can be produced easily, right? Then pollution is again a challenge, and there are many challenges. in which scientists are already working in these directions. Now, to work in these areas in a better way, to develop better techniques, we need to understand the chemistry in depth. To understand chemistry in depth, we need to focus or understand matter first. So what is matter? Matter, you've gone through matter in your 9th standard as well in chapter 2. Okay, so let's recapitulate it. What is matter? So matter is something or anything which has mass. So this is anything which has mass, and occupies space. Okay, so anything which has mass and occupies space, anything means whether it's me, whether it's this pen or phone or your board or your chair, table, anything, your specs, your hair, everything is matter. Okay, so matter can further be, because matter is there, or we all are surrounded with matter. So now let's talk about the properties of matter. Okay, so first let's talk about the states of matter, physical states of matter. States of matter. Matter has 3 states mainly. One is solid, one is liquid, and one is gaseous state. Okay, so these are most common states of matter. Otherwise, there are 2 more states, plasma and BEC, Bose, Einstein, condensate. These are different states of matter, but because we are surrounded with the substances which are most commonly found in these 3 states, so we'll focus on these 3 states more, that is solid, liquid and gas. So basically the factors which decide whether a substance will exist in solid state or in liquid state or in gas state there would be 2 factors only. So solid, liquid and gaseous state. Let's take one example. When I say ice, it's solid state of H2O. When I say water, it's liquid state of H2O. And when I say water vapors or steam, it is gaseous state of H2O. So these are 3 states of H2O only. So a substance can exist in more than 1 states. Okay, even at a time, at a particular point, it can exist in more than 1 states. Okay. So what are the factors which decides what state would be a substance acquiring? So factors affecting a state. There are mainly 2 factors only affecting a state of a substance. First one is intermolecular forces of attraction. Intermolecular forces of attraction. IMFA. You will be finding these terms very commonly. IMFA, although it's not a standard abbreviation, but we can use it. See, if intermolecular forces of attraction are stronger, so as intermolecular force of attraction increases, gaseous state goes to liquid and the liquid goes to solid. So solids has maximum highest intermolecular forces of attraction. Second one is thermal energy. Thermal energy. So as energy increases, the motion increases, the rate of movement increases, the speed increases. So as thermal energy increases, a substance changes its state from solid to liquid and liquid to gas. So it's all about the balance between IMFA and thermal energy, which decides the state of a substance, right? So balance between IMFA and thermal energy decides the state of a substance. State of a substance. Now, because you all are aware of the solid, liquid and gaseous states, so there is a question for you all. Write down the differences between, write down the differences between between solid, liquid and gases. Okay, so this is a question for you. You have to write down the differences between solids, liquids and gases. So now let's talk about the classification of matter. So it was about the states of matter. Now let's talk about the classification of matter. How matter can be divided into different substances. Because definitely you are finding different substances. If I say H2O, so what type of matter is this? So we need to know the classification of matter. So next one is classification of matter. So basically this is chemical classification of matter. Matter can be divided broadly into two categories. One is pure and one is impure. So matter can be divided into two categories. One is pure and one is impure. So when we say pure means something which is having only one type of substances, right? So if I say pure means it can either be an element or a compound, right? Element means all the 118 elements present in the periodic table. So 118 elements. So if I say sodium, it is a pure substance, pure. If I say hydrogen, again pure. If I say chlorine, again pure. If I say phosphorus, again pure. If I say sulfur, again pure. If I say copper, again pure. Okay, so these are the 118 elements which consist of pure matter. These 118 elements although can further be divided into three categories, and they are like metals, non-metals and metalloids and metalloids. So these are pure substances. Then compounds are basically which are chemically which can be produced by chemical combination of elements. Okay, so compounds, there are a lot of compounds which can be prepared from 118 elements. So they can further be divided into two categories. One is organic compounds and the second one is inorganic compounds. If you find more than one element in a given species, it would be a compound. If I say H2O, it is a compound. If I say ethanol, a compound. Ethanol is organic type compound, water is inorganic type compound, right? If I say HCl, hydrochloric acid, inorganic. If I say urea, organic. If I say acetic acid, it's organic, right? So compounds can further be divided into two categories, organic and inorganic. So it's all about pure matter. Now let's go to the next class, that is impure matter or impure substances. Impure substances can be basically divided into, they are basically mixtures. When I say impure means having more than one, which are not chemically combined. So they are basically called mixtures. And mixtures or impure substances can be broadly divided into two categories. One is homogeneous and the second one is heterogeneous. One is homogeneous and the second one is heterogeneous. Okay, so when I say homogeneous, homo itself says means same, geous means phase, which have no boundaries to separate any phase. They have just a single phase. Single phase means no boundaries between anything. Hetero means different. Different phase. Geous means phase, which has different phases, means more than one. Boundaries would be there between the phases. So when I say, if I take a glass of water and if I say a solution containing NaCl in water, so will you be, if I place them separately in a glass, will you be able to identify it? Which one is just water? Which one is a solution containing water and salt? I hope you won't be able to separate them just by looking at them. By tasting them, you can easily tell it. But when I say this type of substances, this type of solutions where no separate boundaries are there, they are called homogeneous substances or matter, and they are called solutions. They are called solutions. Second one is heterogeneous, which is having more than one phases. So they can further be divided into two categories. One is colloids and one is suspension. Right? So colloid means like starch salt, the water which separates out on boiling of rice, that is your colloid. Suspension is sand in water. Suspension is basically sand in water. Okay, in solutions you can take sugar solution. Example, these are examples. Sugar solution, or you can say salt solution, or you can say ethanol in water, etc. They are homogeneous substances. So matter can be divided into different categories. First, it can be so this is the matter which can be divided into different categories. First, into pure and impure. Pure contains elements and compounds. There are 118 elements in the periodic table. Just periodic table is elements. Compounds can be divided into organic and inorganic. So compounds are prepared from elements by their chemical reactions. So they can be prepared by their chemical combinations. Okay. Then impure substances mean homo and hetero. So what we have discussed today is, we have talked about chemistry. So just recapitulation part, what we have discussed today was, we have talked about chemistry, what is chemistry, then we have seen the importance of chemistry, its importance, what are the challenges which are there in front of scientists, then we have talked about matter, its physical states, then we have talked about chemical classification of matter. So there is a question for you. Categorize the following substances into different classes of matter. If I say one as hydrogen, if I say classify them into different categories, hydrogen is there, water is there, then ammonium nitrate is there, then sodium oxide is there, then if I say MgCl2 is there, if I say bronze is there, if I say polythene is there, if I say sugar plus salt means NaCl plus, water is there, then I say coal is there, carbon is there, or graphite is there, if I say gold soul is there. So categorize them into different categories in terms of element, compounds, then homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixtures. Thank you so much.